Buccaneers will be back with another video. We're going to be talking about the playoffs and who do I think will make the Super Bowl, because obviously the playoffs are going to be starting tomorrow and I want to get ahead of it right now. So if you can smash that like button, comment, and subscribe, that would be amazing. And let's get on to the video. So we're going to be at the site Playoff Predictors for those who want to know the best site for predicting all kind of stuff like that. And I used it to predict my normal season predictions. And obviously I didn't make a YouTube channel then, so now I want to make predictions for you guys. So for the first game, we're going to be doing Baltimore versus Tennessee. Baltimore has Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram, they've got J.K. Dobbins, they've got Marquise Brown, but Tennessee have got the one-man carry crew that is known as Derrick Henry. I know Derrick Henry can carry this team on his back. Ryan Tannehill's a solid QB. A.J. Brown took a step forward, and I don't see why Tennessee can't win this game. I'm not going by seeding, by the way. There it is. Yeah, I'm trying to type in Tennessee. I just think Baltimore is a big choke job in the wild card / playoffs, because Lamar Jackson hasn't won a game in the playoffs, and he's been there twice. Once he was the first seed with Baltimore, and they lost to Tennessee, and even then, Derrick Henry didn't have as good of a season as he had this year. So I do expect Tennessee to win this, but it wouldn't surprise me if Baltimore somehow won. Next, we've got Cleveland versus Pittsburgh, and I know that Juju Smith-Schuster just said that the Browns are just the Browns and they are a shit team, and I don't care. I do think the Browns are going to win this one, even if Kevin Stefanski isn't here. I just have that gut feeling that everything Juju Smith-Schuster does from now on, ever since Von Bell completely masqueraded him during that game, I think it's going to come back and bite his ass. Trust me. Sorry for the cussing, but I think that Juju Smith-Schuster, I can't really take him seriously unless he wins this game. Then I'll be able to take him seriously, because his production has dropped a lot from the past year or so. So now I think he's mostly talk, but he has the ability to be so good. So next, we've got Indianapolis and Buffalo Bills. I do think Buffalo is going to win. Josh Allen is simply unstoppable at this rate. Josh Allen, who is playing at an MVP form. Phillip Rivers isn't. The Buffalo Bills have been dominant on offense. They've completely masqueraded teams. They've made close for those games that they lost against the Tennessee Titans somehow. I don't know how the heck that happened, but yeah, what I'm trying to say is that Buffalo has one of the most potent offense, and they don't have a bad defense at all. So I think that Buffalo would really make it far, and they could even make the Super Bowl if they try hard enough. So next, we've got the NFC, and we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Washington Football Team. Now, Tampa Bay is a tale of two sides. If they can manage to have less than 2 sacks, then they will win, because Tom Brady's 8-0 when he doesn't get sacked twice or less. When he gets sacked twice or less, then he doesn't lose any games, which is crazy. But Washington have one of the best defenses, especially their defensive line, which is crazy. They've got Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, they've got Chase Young, who just won Defensive Player of the Month for NFC, and he's just a rookie, so expect him to get better. But I do think Tampa Bay is going to win today. I don't see why they can't win, because they have a crazy offense, and they don't have a bad defense too. I know Carlton Davis is improving, and what am I doing? They still have Ndamukong Suh, Jason Pierre-Paul, Levante David. Next, we've got LA and Seattle. You know, I never bet against Seattle. Seattle will absolutely destroy LA. Doesn't matter who the QB of LA is, whether it's John Wolford or Jared Goff. Seattle's going to eat them alive, because defense has now been improving steadily and rapidly. Like, once Carlos Dunlap arrived at Seattle, the story just changed from terrible defense giving up a lot of yards and points to a really, really good defense. I know Jamal Adams said that Seattle had the best defense for right now because of the way they're playing, but this will be a real test in the playoffs when the pressure's all on them at Lumen Field. And last but not least, we've got Chicago and New Orleans. I know New Orleans have a QB who's regressed a lot this year. Like, the regression was little by little, like from 2018 and 2019, but he was still playing, Drew Brees was still playing like a top 5, 10 QB, but he's taken a bit step back, and he's playing like maybe a middle of the pack, top 15 QB at most. But I still think New Orleans have a talented enough roster to beat Chicago, and I don't know if this will be high scoring, because they both have decent enough defenses. I don't see any problems playing their defenses. Next, we've got Tennessee and Buffalo, and I do think Buffalo will will win this rematch. I know Buffalo will look back at this game with regret, but that was at Tennessee. Now they're in Buffalo, and Josh Allen, again, you can't really bet against him in this game. I mean, their offense has been crazy. Stephon Diggs is a first-team All-Pro for a reason. He's Josh Allen's top 3 MVP pick for a reason, and I do think that the Buffalo Bills will win. We've got KC and Cleveland. Expect Mahomes to win this game because Mahomes just got rested, so he can be all fit and fresh for this game in 2 weeks. And I hope that KC win because KC needs to really pose a threat. Otherwise, they'll be called a fluke, and Patrick Mahomes will be called a failure for his contract because being paid $50 million is a hefty sum. It can make or break. Even if you have a good season, like for an average QB, a good season, you'll still be considered a failure for how much you're being paid. So I need to see Mahomes win this game so he can be worth that price tag of $50 million, which is hefty. The most that anyone's been paid in an American sport. Next, we've got New Orleans and Seattle. This will be tough because Seattle is a very, very good team, and New Orleans is also really good. But I'm not biased here. I really see a way Seattle wins this game. C. Drew Brees has regressed, and Seattle's defense has improved since Carlos Dunlap has arrived. They've been giving up very, very little points, and they've been sacking a lot. The past 6 weeks, they've had 20 sacks, which is really crazy. I mean, last year, Seattle only had 28 sacks in 16 games, which is ridiculously bad. That is not right. And in this little stretch, they're sacking the QB more than almost the whole season of last year. So they have one of the highest sacking teams in the league, and I do expect Seattle to take care of this game. It won't be easy though. It will be a heart attack game as Seattle fashion because Seattle gives me heart attacks every time I watch a game. So we've got Tampa Bay and Green Bay. You can't bet against Aaron Rodgers here. Aaron Rodgers, for good reason, is MVP, and I think he will torch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers alive. I know he had one bad game against them. Expect Green Bay to win this pretty easily, and Tom Brady will still be proud of his season because people were calling him terrible. They were calling him a waste of money after his bad stretch of 11 interceptions this season. He doesn't throw much interceptions in seasons. He's like Aaron Rodgers in the sense that he has a really, really good efficiency, which is a touchdown to interception ratio. So let's move on to the championship game. We've got Buffalo. We've got KC. You know what? I will bet against KC here. I do think Buffalo can win this game, and I hope they will because I don't need my friend who's a KC fan obnoxiously shouting at me oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. You know why? Because Buffalo Bills is such a good team. The reason they've lost the 3 games is one because of KC being a good team, but that was far back, and now that they've torched basically every team in the NFL through this last 5-6 game stretch, they scored 56 against the Dolphins, and the Dolphins had a decent defense last year, so that's really good. And I really like Josh Allen to the point where I like him a lot more than Mahomes. Not as a player, I know that Mahomes is a much better player than Josh Allen, but I really like what he can do. I really like the offensive threat. I do not think that the Chiefs will have enough. They don't have a pass defense. Let's be honest here. The Chiefs' defense comes down to their defensive line with Chris Jones and company. I mean, they've got Tyrann Mathieu, and who else? They don't have a number 1 corner after they traded away Kendall Fuller to the Washington football team again. So I do not think that the KC Chiefs win because, again, Buffalo is heavily pass offense. And next we've got Seattle versus Green Bay. Ooh, I'm so tempted to pick Seattle, but again, last year, Green Bay was the team that torches Seattle in the playoffs in the divisional round. I hate you, Packers. The only problem is I do think the Packers got better from last season, if I'm going to be honest. I know they didn't draft their glaringly obvious weakness, which was another receiver to complement Devontae Adams, but it's Aaron Rodgers. He improved a lot, and he played at an MVP level that he's shown in the past. Now, Seattle has a good defense, but they haven't necessarily played against a top QB with this new look defense, so I'm not sure how they're gonna fare. So the safe pick would be Green Bay, although I can see Seattle winning this game. Now let's go to the Green Bay versus Buffalo. Now, we need to break this down because we're at the Super Bowl and we have a bit more time to break things down. The Packers have Jair Alexander and Kevin King, Darnell Savage, and Adrian Amos as their secondary. And the receivers for the Bills are Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Cole Beasley, and Dawson Knox as their tight end, which isn't bad. bad, but I do think that Green Bay has enough secondary with one of the best corners in the league, which is Jair Alexander, to help against Stephon Diggs. Now, for Green Bay's attack, they've got Devontae Adams, Marcus Valdes-Scantling, Robert Tonyan, they've got Aaron Rodgers, and for running backs, they've got Aaron Jones, who's heaven and earth above Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. So you can't really bet against the Green Bay Packers, could you? Ooh, yes. Green Bay is going to win the Super Bowl. And this is my tier list that not many people are going to agree with, but I wanted to be gutsy and I wanted to have an actual team that can beat the Chiefs. And the Bills can beat the Chiefs on a good day. They really can. And I do think that you can make a case for all of these, but so far this is what I truly think and this is what I truly want. So thanks for watching this video. This will be a big video about my playoff predictions, and I will see you later in the next video, and peace.